Welcome back to Restorative Yoga for Menopause and Beyond. I'm Lizzie Lasater here with Mary Richards. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Lizzie.
So we're talking about pose 6, our last pose of this mini course, which is basic relaxation pose, also known as Shavasana. Let me share the image right up front of the pose. This is from Mom's beautiful book, Restore and Rebalance. I'll put the link below in the description. Mary, sing the praises of this pose.
Well, basic relaxation pose is more than a pose. It's a life skill. Everyone, everywhere needs to practice this pose every day.
Yes.
Because we need to cultivate the ability to be still and quiet. And this pose is the way to learn to do that, no matter where you are in your life. The ability to support ourselves so that we can let go is something that will serve us no matter what our circumstances. And if you look at this beautiful image, you can see the head, neck, and shoulders are supported. They're not pushed into position, but the negative space is filled so that the head, neck, and shoulders are cradled by the blanket. There's a lift under the wrists. When we lift the wrists a bit higher than the elbows, it allows the shoulders to release. Placing a bolster or rolled blankets behind the knees, lifting the knees higher than the hips allows the low back to release and the belly to soften and open. And then some sort of rolled blanket or even a rolled towel behind the ankles takes the feet off of whatever surface you're resting on, whether it's the floor or your bed, and then you don't get those hot pressure points from your heels resting on a surface. And so we create these conditions where we've supported all of the major parts of the body in such a way that we can surrender. And this has value physically because it allows us to relax, our muscles to soften, our nerves to relax, if you will. But it also serves a really valuable purpose for our psychology, if you will, in that it creates conditions for us to step back and not do, to take ourselves
Oh,
out of the center of activity.
this is so hard, Mary.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's hard, especially, when you're general contractor of the universe, as your mom likes to say, which if you're a parent or you work in any sort of organization, you run your own business, you're human, we often believe we're the center of the universe and that we are responsible for everything and we need to do everything. And I have this saying with my intimate friend group. You've heard this saying, there's no rest for the weary. Well, we've reframed that to there's no rest for the competent, because we're the only ones who are competent. And so we have to do everything. And it's our way of reminding ourselves, no, 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 we actually need to learn to let other people do, so we allow room for growth, for our own growth, our tolerance for other people's learning processes, which is really challenging, especially, if you're in charge of other folks' day, like kids or people that work for you. And the only way we allow room for growth to arise is if we simmer down. And that's exactly what basic relaxation pose teaches us to do. It teaches us to simmer down.
I love this so much as I can hear my 4-year-old twins banging in the living room through that door. This morning, Felix looked at me and I tried to zip his jacket and he said, Mama, I know how to zip. And it was like, what? Since when? Like, and this piece that you're describing, Mary, of stepping back not always inserting myself into the center, I think is kind of the flavor I'm beginning to taste from as I'm entering into perimenopause, that kind of flavor of being in the center of my life and being competent, or having built some competence and being used to, and I'm between the children and the house and the business and the aging parents, and they're taking care of all of these moving parts. This pose really embodies that for me, of saying, I'm going to take 20 minutes for myself, and the earth, I presume, will continue to spin on her axis. And everyone who lives in my house will solve whatever problems arise in their own creative ways without my controlling intervention.
Yes. And even if they don't solve their problems or meet their responsibilities, there's still time for them to learn to do that. But if we keep inserting ourselves in their growth process, we are actually slowing them down.
Okay, I love this so much, this idea of inserting ourselves into the growth process of others. So where would you say is our growth process in the perimenopause, menopause phase? Would you say that for us, generalizing, as women, we need to learn how to do less, or step back, or let go of control? How would you describe our growth process?
Okay, so all of that is necessary for sure, but it's also recognizing that we're not defined by our relationships and responsibilities with other people, that our identity actually is inherent within us, and it transcends all of these other roles and responsibilities that we have assumed, that we have taken on in our lives. And so learning to spend 20 minutes a day in basic relaxation pose allows us to reconnect to our inherent beingness.
Okay, that's where we're going to leave it, Mary. That is so fantastic. You have whipped me into a frenzy of desire to practice restorative yoga. Mission accomplished. Thank you very much for sharing your time and your wisdom and your laughter with us. And thank you to our viewers, to our students. We're so glad that you're here with us. Be sure to check the description of this video below for the link to get onto the free newsletter about yoga for menopause, and make sure you order Mary's book. Will be linked below, and as well, Mom's book, Restore and Rebalance, where we used her images today. This is the last video of the mini course, Mary. Parting words, what do you want to say? We love you. Practice yoga.
Yeah, I'm rooting for you to get on your mat and do nothing.
Absolutely nothing. And please comment below, what is the number one thing that you're taking with you from this session, from this mini course? It could be a word, it could be a sentence, an idea. What landed in your heart? Namaste, Mary.
Namaste, Lizzie.